What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you've read Renegade Immortal, then you already know exactly what I'm talking about when I say that this novel is on an entirely different level. Wang Lin's revenge arc, the moments where he defied every rule, every person, every god that stood in his way. It was, without exaggeration, absolute cinema in novel form. The fight scenes, the cultivation philosophy, the emotional depth. Renegade Immortal isn't just a cultivation novel, it's a piece of art. But here's what a lot of people don't know. Renegade Immortal is just one piece of a much larger puzzle. The same author, known by the pen name Ergen, has written 5 additional novels set within the same shared universe. We call this universe Ergen Vas, meaning the interconnected world of all of Ergen's major works. 6 novels, one massive intertwined cosmos. And today, I'm going to give you the complete breakdown of every single novel in this universe. We'll go through what each novel is about, the main character, their personality, and their power level, how each novel connects to the others, the chronological reading order timeline-wise, not publication-wise, the cosmology of the entire universe, how all the worlds fit together, and finally, which novel you should read first, and which one is the absolute best. So buckle up, because this is going to be a long one. Let's get into it. Before we dive into the individual novels, let me give you a bird's-eye view of the Ergen Vas universe so that everything makes sense as we go deeper. Ergen has written 6 major novels. They are Pursuit of the Truth, also known as Beseech the Devil or Chase the Sky; Renegade Immortal, I Shall Seal the Heavens; A Will Eternal, A World Worth Protecting; Beyond the Timescapes. Now, here's the most important thing I want you to understand right away. You can start with any of these novels. They are all interconnected, but they are all also independently readable. None of them require you to have read another one first, at least not to enjoy the main story. However, and this is the key point, reading them in a certain order will massively enhance your experience. You'll pick up on references, cameos, callbacks, and lore drops that will absolutely blow your mind if you've already read the earlier novels. There are 2 ways to look at the reading order. Publication order, the order in which Ergen released them to the world. Timeline, chronological order, the order in which events actually happen within the universe's internal timeline. I'm going to give you the timeline order, because that's what makes the most narrative sense and gives the best overall experience. I'll also tell you the publication order where it matters. Let's go novel by novel. The first novel, chronologically speaking, is Pursuit of the Truth. This novel is also known by several translated names. Some call it Beseech the Devil, others call it Chase the Sky to the Horizon, but the most widely used title in the English reading community is Pursuit of the Truth, so that's what we'll use here. The main character of this novel is Ming. Now, I want you to stop whatever you're thinking right now, because I'm about to tell you something that might shock you. Ming's story is even more tragic and heart-wrenching than Wang Lin's. Yes, you heard that correctly. The protagonist of Renegade Immortal, a man whose life was defined by suffering, loss, and a burning drive for revenge, is somehow not the most tragic main character in this universe. Ming takes that title. Ming's life is filled with unrelenting sorrow, pain, and psychological suffering from an extremely early age. Ergen writes him with a level of emotional depth that is almost overwhelming. This is not a fun, action-packed cultivation story. Pursuit of the Truth is dark. It is brutal. It is a philosophical exploration of what it means to pursue something at the cost of everything else. The novel carries an enormous weight of foreshadowing throughout its pages. Scenes and lines of dialogue that seem minor at first turn out to be deeply significant later, not just in this novel, but in the broader universe. The philosophical themes woven into the story are genuinely complex and rewarding to engage with. In terms of tone, this novel is relentless in its seriousness. There is little comedy relief. Ming himself is a deeply hardworking, constantly serious, and utterly ruthless individual. He doesn't joke, he doesn't play around, he calculates, he endures, and when the time comes, he strikes. One crucial piece of cosmological lore introduced in this novel. Ming begins his cultivation journey significantly earlier than Wang Lin. This becomes important later, when we understand the timeline of events across the universe. By the end of Pursuit of the Truth, Ming's cultivation level has reached the 4th step. Keep that number in mind. Wang Lin will also reach the 4th step by the end of Renegade Immortal. They are, at their respective endpoints, equals in cultivation level. But as we'll discuss later, they will both go far beyond that. One more important detail. Ming is eventually given the title of the Devil. This title is not just symbolic, it has deep cosmological significance that we'll unpack when we get to I Shall Seal the Heavens. As of now, the Donghua animated adaptation of Pursuit of the Truth has been announced, and a poster has been revealed, but no trailer has been released yet. Given how incredible the source material is, I personally cannot wait to see it animated. Bottom line, Pursuit of the Truth is one of the most emotionally devastating and philosophically rich cultivation novels ever written. If you love the dark, tragic tone of Renegade Immortal, this novel will absolutely hit you even harder. You already know this one. Renegade Immortal, the novel that, for so many of us, was the gateway into the Ergen Vas universe. The story of Wang Lin, a boy with no talent, no spiritual roots, no destiny, who carved his own path through sheer willpower, ruthlessness, and an unbreakable desire for revenge. I don't need to spend too long re-explaining the plot, because if you're watching this video, you've probably already read it or at least know the general premise. But I do want to highlight a few things in the context of the broader universe. Timeline-wise, Renegade Immortal takes place after Pursuit of the Truth. Ming began his cultivation journey, eons, before Wang Lin was even born. By the time Wang Lin starts his path, Ming is already deep into his own story. Their timelines run in parallel for a stretch before eventually converging in later novels. The connection between the two is profound. Wang Lin's signature technique, Heaven-Defying Bead, was actually created by Ming. Ming developed this technique long before Wang Lin ever used it. This is one of the most jaw-dropping, wait, what? Moments for readers who tackle both novels and piece together the lore. By the end of Renegade Immortal, Wang Lin also reaches the fourth step of cultivation. And just as Ming is given the title of the Devil, Wang Lin is given the title of the God. Again, the significance of these titles will become crystal clear in the third novel. Some characters that appear in Pursuit of the Truth will make appearances in Renegade Immortal as well, reinforcing the shared universe feeling and rewarding readers who have done both. One key personality note about Wang Lin versus Ming. While both are serious and ruthless, Wang Lin has slightly more emotional vulnerability. His love for his family, his sense of loyalty, his grief, these are raw and human. Ming, by contrast, is more internally closed off, more purely driven. Both are incredible characters, but they represent slightly different flavors of the ruthless underdog archetype. Bottom line, if you haven't read Renegade Immortal yet, it's the most natural starting point for most readers. It's compelling on its own and serves as an excellent entry point into the wider universe. Now we arrive at I Shall Seal the Heavens, and this is where the Ergen Vas universe starts to truly expand in scope and scale. This novel is the direct sequel continuation for both Pursuit of the Truth and Renegade Immortal. It takes place after the events of both those novels and directly builds on the fates of Ming and Wang Lin. But let me first introduce you to this novel's main character, Meng. Meng is unlike any protagonist we've seen so far in this universe. If Ming is the embodiment of tragedy and Wang Lin is the embodiment of defiance, then Meng is the embodiment of greed. Glorious, shameless, unapologetic greed. This man is absolutely obsessed with money, spirit stones, cultivation resources, treasures. If it has value, Meng wants it, and he will go to insane lengths to acquire it. Ergen has essentially dialed up the comedy factor significantly with this character, and it works brilliantly. The author made a deliberate creative decision here. After writing two deeply tragic, emotionally devastating novels, Pursuit of the Truth and Renegade Immortal, Ergen recognized that readers needed a break. The tone of I Shall Seal the Heavens is noticeably lighter. There's genuine comedy, there are fun character interactions, and while the plot still has serious and epic moments, the overall experience is less emotionally exhausting. This was the right call. Two consecutive novels of that level of suffering can genuinely wear a reader down. And the shift in tone for I Shall Seal the Heavens made it massively popular, arguably the most widely read of all Ergen's works. Now, here's where the major lore payoff happens. Let me explain the cosmological setup. In this universe, there exists a being known as All Heaven, also sometimes called All Heaven. This entity is the main villain of I Shall Seal the Heavens, and understanding what he is unlocks a huge piece of the universe's structure. All Heaven is actually a clone of an even more powerful cultivator. The original entity was engaged in a massive battle elsewhere, and created All Heaven as a clone to act independently. All Heaven, while fleeing from his own conflicts, arrived in a region called the West Expanse, a world that was immature and undeveloped at the time. All Heaven essentially replaced the world's will, its natural consciousness, and instituted his own natural laws, cultivation systems, and cosmic structures. He became the foundation upon which the entire world grew. However, this process cost him enormously. His body was destroyed in the process, and what remained of him was reduced to just 5 fingers and 1 eye. Each of those 5 fingers contained a specific, distinct power. The power of the immortal, the power of the god, the power of the devil, the power of the ghost, the power of the demon. Among these, the immortal is the most powerful. All Heaven guards this power jealously and allows no one to claim it. Now, here's where Ming and Wang Lin come back into the picture. Prior to the events of I Shall Seal the Heavens, both of them fought against All Heaven. They lost. Their respective realms, the Immortal God Continent and the Devil Realm Continent, were destroyed. They were expelled from the West Expanse entirely. Their main bodies cannot appear in this story. Only their clones will appear briefly to assist Meng. But before being expelled, Both Su Ming and Wang Lin managed to break one of all heaven's fingers each and absorb the corresponding power. Su Ming absorbed the devil power, earning him the title of the devil. Wang Lin absorbed the god power, earning him the title of the god. And Meng Hao? By the end of I Shall Seal the Heavens, Meng Hao is given the title of the demon. He breaks all heaven's demon finger and claims that power. There's also a separate position, the ghost, which plays into the broader cosmological structure. But that's a deeper lore rabbit hole we don't need to go fully down today. I Shall Seal the Heavens features characters from the previous 2 novels making appearances, which is enormously satisfying for longtime readers. Seeing Su Ming and Wang Lin's clones show up and interact with Meng Hao is genuinely one of the highlights of the novel. Bottom line, I Shall Seal the Heavens is where the universe becomes truly epic. The comedy is refreshing, the lore is deep, and Meng Hao is one of the most entertaining protagonists in all of cultivation fiction. Many consider this the crown jewel of the Ergen Vas universe. Highly recommended. Next up is A Will Eternal, and this novel has a Donghua adaptation that is frankly hilarious and absolutely worth watching. The main character here is Xiaochun, and he might be the most beloved comedy protagonist in all of cultivation fiction. A Will Eternal takes place in a world called the Eternal Spirit World, which, and this is a fascinating piece of lore, is actually the home world of All Heaven, the main villain from I Shall Seal the Heavens. So while that novel was set in All Heaven's conquered territory, the West Expanse, this novel is set in the world he originally came from. However, and this is important, A Will Eternal does not directly connect to the previous novels in terms of storyline. You won't see Wang Lin, Su Ming, or Meng Hao here. This novel stands somewhat apart from the others in terms of direct plot connections, though the cosmological connections are deep. Now, let's talk about Xiaochun, because this character deserves his own segment. Xiaochun is a coward. He's whiny, he's self-centered, he's dramatic, he panics constantly, he runs from danger, he begs for mercy, he cheats and schemes, and he is absolutely, utterly, completely lovable. Here's the thing about people who criticize Xiaochun's character, they're missing the point. When the novel begins, Xiaochun is not a hero. He doesn't pretend to be one. He's just a young man who wants one thing above all else, to not die. He wants immortality, so he can live forever. That's it. That's his entire motivation at the start. But here's where Ergen's genius comes in. Watching Xiaochun grow throughout this novel is one of the most satisfying character development arcs in all of cultivation fiction. Starting from someone who runs at the first sign of danger, he eventually becomes something truly formidable, while never fully losing that core personality that makes him so funny. The comedy in A Will Eternal is on another level. When readers first encountered this novel after the emotional devastation of Pursuit of the Truth and Renegade Immortal, many of them couldn't believe it was written by the same author. The humor is genuinely funny. The situations Xiaochun gets himself into are ridiculous in the best possible way, and the Donghua brings it all to life brilliantly. Tin. Like Meng Hao before him, Xiaochun will eventually receive a cosmic title, the Eternal, and will also take on the mantle of a new All Heaven. This has massive cosmological implications that feed directly into the later novels. Bottom line, A Will Eternal is a masterclass in comedy cultivation fiction. If you're feeling emotionally drained from the heavier novels, this is the perfect palate cleanser while still being genuinely epic when it needs to be. Watch the Donghua. It's spectacular. Now we're getting to the culmination of everything. A World Worth Protecting is where all the threads come together. This novel's main character is Wang Baole. Notice the surname Wang. Yes, as in Wang Lin's family line. This is not a coincidence. In this novel, we will see Wang Lin and Lei Wan's daughter, who is also a significant character and who happens to be Wang Baole's love interest. Wang Lin himself plays a major role in this novel. After being absent or only briefly present as a clone in I Shall Seal the Heavens, Wang Lin returns here in a meaningful, plot-relevant capacity. And it gets even better. All 4 main characters from the previous novels will appear here. Wang Lin, the god, Su Ming, the devil, Meng Hao, the demon, and Xiaochun, the eternal. All of them show up in A World Worth Protecting. The crossover that readers had been dreaming about since the beginning of the universe finally happens. Wang Baole himself is a refreshing protagonist. After the tragedy of Su Ming, the defiance of Wang Lin, the greed of Meng Hao, and the cowardice of Xiaochun, Wang Baole is simply chill. He's easygoing, funny, and laid back. He doesn't carry the weight of enormous tragedy. He enjoys life. He jokes around. In many ways, he's the most emotionally healthy protagonist in the entire universe. 2 Ace. As for the grand question everyone wants answered, who is the strongest? All 4 of the previous protagonists, Wang Lin, Su Ming, Meng Hao, and Xiaochun, will all eventually reach peak 9th step cultivation. That is the ceiling of the cosmological system in their realm. Among them, Wang Lin is the strongest. He is considered the apex, The god title he carries reflects his position at the very top of the power hierarchy from the lower starfield. This novel also reveals the final cosmological structure of the Ergen Vas universe, specifically the full picture of the upper realm beyond the lower starfields. This sets up the sixth and final novel perfectly. Bottom line, A World Worth Protecting is the grand reunion. If you've read all the previous novels, this one will hit differently than anything else. The cameos, the connections, the payoffs, it's deeply rewarding. And Wang Baole is a genuinely fun protagonist to spend time with. Before we get to the final novel, I need to explain the full cosmological structure of the universe because it's essential context for understanding what's happening in Beyond the Timescapes. Here's how the universe is structured. At the lowest level, you have what are called starfields, massive cosmic regions that contain countless worlds, continents, and realms. The worlds we've explored across the first 5 novels, the Immortal God Continent, the Devil Realm, the Eternal Spirit World, the West Expanse, and everything else, are all contained within a single starfield called the Deep Earth Starfield. This is classified as a lower starfield. The cosmological lore suggests there are 36 upper starfields and a corresponding number of lower starfields, likely also 36, though this hasn't been explicitly confirmed. The Deep Earth Starfield is one of those lower starfields. Within any given starfield, the highest cultivation level achievable is the 9th step. Once a cultivator reaches peak 9th step, they have the ability to ascend to the upper starfields. This is confirmed in the 6th novel. All 5 of the main protagonists from the first 5 novels, Wang Lin, Ming, Meng Bai Xiaochun, and Wang Baole, eventually reach peak 9th step and ascend beyond the Deep Earth Starfield into the upper realm. The 6th novel, Beyond the Timescapes, is set in one of those upper starfields, specifically one called the Brilliant Heaven Starfield. This is where things get truly cosmic. We've finally arrived at the 6th and most recent novel in the Ergen Vas universe, Beyond the Timescapes. This is, without question, my personal favorite novel from General, and I say that having read and loved every single one on this list. The main character of Beyond the Timescapes is Xuan, and from the very first chapters, it's clear that this protagonist operates on a completely different level from anything we've seen before. Xuan is serious. He is ruthless. He is, as we say in the community, absolutely broken in terms of power. The story is set in the Brilliant Heaven Starfield, one of the 36 upper starfields, which means the power scale here completely surpasses everything from the previous 5 novels. The rules are different. The cultivators are stronger. The stakes are higher. And the storytelling is, in my opinion, the most refined and mature of Ergen's entire career. What makes Beyond the Timescape special beyond the incredible main character is the mysterious thematic tone of the novel. There's a sense of cosmic mystery throughout, as if the universe itself is hiding something. The epic float quest elements of the plot are genuinely mind-blowing. Side characters are written with far more depth than you typically see in cultivation fiction. Every character, even minor ones, feels like they have a complete inner life. Now, here's an interesting timeline note. Chronologically, Beyond the Timescapes actually takes place before A World Worth Protecting. The events in the upper starfield are happening while the main characters of the previous novels are still in the lower starfield. However, the novels are still interconnected at one point. Xuan briefly appears in A World Worth Protecting and exchanges a few words with Wang Lin. A blink and you'll miss it moment for casual readers, but enormously significant for those who understand both novels. This novel also has a Donghua adaptation that has received incredible praise. The animation quality, the visual direction, the presentation of the cultivation system, everything about the Beyond the Timescapes Donghua is stunning. If you're someone who prefers anime to reading, this adaptation is absolutely worth watching first as an introduction to the universe. But I'd still strongly recommend reading the novel afterward. I genuinely believe that Beyond the Timescapes will become one of the most beloved cultivation stories of this generation. Xuan character is already considered one of the greatest protagonists Ergen has ever written, and the community reaction to the Donghua has been overwhelmingly positive. Bottom line, Beyond the Timescapes is the peak. It's the apex of Ergen's storytelling craft, featuring the most powerful protagonist in the entire Ergen Vas universe, and some of the most ambitious world-building Ergen has ever attempted. If you've read all 5 previous novels, this one will reward you enormously. Alright, let's bring it all together. Here is my recommended reading order for the Ergen Vas universe, based on chronological timeline. Pursuit of the Truth, Ming the Devil, Renegade Immortal, Wang Lin the God, I Shall Seal the Heavens, Meng the Demon, A Will Eternal, Bai Xiaochun the Eternal, Beyond the Timescapes, Xuan Upper Realm, A World Worth Protecting, Wang Baole, The Grand Reunion. That said, you can genuinely start with any of them. If you want the lightest entry point, start with I Shall Seal the Heavens or A Will Eternal. If you want the deepest emotional experience first, start with Renegade Immortal or Pursuit of the Truth. If you want the most epic and polished experience right away, start with Beyond the Timescapes. There's no wrong answer. The universe rewards every entry point. And that's it for today's video, guys. That was the complete Ergen Vas universe, every novel, every connection, every piece of lore I could pack in. I genuinely believe this is one of the greatest shared universes in all of cultivation fiction. And if you haven't explored it fully yet, I hope this video convinced you to dive in. Let me know in the comments, which novel is your favorite? Or which one are you planning to read next? I'd love to know. If this video helped you out, hit that like button. It genuinely helps the channel more than you know. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Peace.